So if you got your assessment notice a little while ago, this is what your tax assessment from the Douglas County Board of Assessors will look like. I have blocked out the address on this particular one. The annual assessment notice date went out on June 23rd. And the last day for you to file a written appeal is August 7th. So we have a little bit over a month for you to get through the process of filing an appeal. What you need to understand about this is that this is not a tax bill, but you can go online to look at your tax information. Okay, so let's look at this a little bit. On your tax assessment notice, you have an account number, a property ID number. You've got some information about whether or not, if you can see right here on the right side, that this property does qualify for the homestead exemption, right? And here's something that I want you to pay attention to when we look at the appraised value versus the assessed value. Okay, if we look at the previous year, this particular property was valued at $313,200. Based on market sales over the past 12 months, according to the tax assessor, they've increased the value of the property to $394,000. Now, that is the area where we can make some adjustments potentially on whether or not this value is accurate. We talked about the 40% assessed value. And as you noticed here, that means the taxable assessed value of this property is $157,680. Okay. Last year it was $125,000, which means that we've got an increase in value, which means that property taxes have gone up in this particular year. Okay. We've got some homestead exemptions here, one for county operations and one for school operations. As you notice here, this net taxable value is $151,680. That is $6,000 less than the 40% assessed value. Okay. And then also we've got a school operations homestead exemption of another $2,000. And that is a reduction from the $157,680. These on this side are called the millage rate. The millage rate is determined by the Board of Tax Assessors for the county. Each county has their own millage rate, and each of these taxing authorities have their own separate millage rate. Add all those up, you get to this big old number down at the bottom here, $6,282.07. For this particular person, that meant a tax increase of over $2,000. Now, some of us got a correct assessment notice. Some of us did not. If you got a huge, huge jump in your taxes, what I'd like for you to do, if you can, if not, we can work on doing it together, is take a look at last year's assessment notice versus this year's assessment notice and look at the difference in the values, okay? I've got, as a real estate professional, there's a couple of lines that I look on and I can look very clearly to see if there's anything that jumps out at me. And what I just explained to you in this particular case is what we saw immediately. One thing I want to tell you is that I actually went to the county assessor today and had a conversation about this tax bill. If you got an erroneous tax assessment, you will be getting an updated notification. What I want you to do is I want you to take a look at the new assessment notice. I want you to look at what the county shows as your current fair market value. And I want you to look at whether or not you've got your homestead exemptions. Those things are easy fixes if they're not being applied properly, okay? Looking at the appraised value is a little bit more complicated, but it doesn't have to be difficult. It's something that we can do together.